All right, hello, Metal Maniacs. It's the Meista from Brews and Tunes. Cheers. I am absolutely thrilled today. I am chatting with Vlad and Jana Garčević. Did I pronounce that correctly? Garčević?
It's
Close?
close.
Okay, close. Of course.
Vlad and Dejana Garčević.
Okay, Garčević. Okay, I almost got it. Okay, so sorry. So
No.
Vlad Jana of Claymorean, the mighty Claymorean power metal band from Serbia. So nice to see you. How are you doing?
Good. Not bad at all.
Good.
I think we always have this moment where we were interviewed and trying to give the best of us anytime.
Nice.
So thank you for reaching out and for having us here.
Yeah, I'm very excited to be chatting with you. I've been meaning to reach out for quite a long time. I've been a big fan for quite a few years and really enjoy your music a lot. So, and speaking of which, I know you recently released a live EP from the Keep It True festival, correct?
Yeah, that one is the second live material we released this year.
Nice.
So we were very busy because we were getting those camera recordings and mixed board recordings from Germany, where we had a mini tour last year, and we were very surprised how good it sounded. And we gave the audio files, audio tracks to our producer Boris, and he was like, "Okay, I'm gonna mix it. Do you want to add something?" You know, mistakes happen when you're playing live, and he said, "Oh, this guitar is out of tune, or you made a mistake here. Do you want to add something?" No, I'll leave it as it were, because we want to keep things simple. We want to do it the old way, but not recording on a tape or something like that. Using new technologies, but keeping it old school when it comes to sound.
That's the reason we stripped down our sound on a CD, so we can play
because
as close to original as possible.
When we play live, it's really close to what you hear on our albums.
Yeah, I was gonna say, it seems like, and that's one of the things I've always liked about the band too is you have like a live sound on your studio albums. Like it's, you can tell it's very organic, it's very tight. And yeah, when you hear, I unfortunately I've never seen you in person live, but I've heard you live many times, and yeah, I mean it sounds like what you hear on the CD. I mean, it's great. It's yeah, and I love the fact that you're like, well, let's keep any mistakes, or like, let's have the real experience. Like this is what it sounded like that day, that night. This is what the show was. Because I've always been bothered, especially when bands will put in audience sounds, on live CDs. And I get it sometimes, especially if it goes through the sound booth, like you can't hear the audience. So it doesn't even sound live, and so they'll put an audience on there later. But
you will notice on those two live releases, live at Metaleros Volume 4 and live at Keep It True Rising 3, you'll hear not the absence of the crowd, but very low.
Because I think in Keep It True Room wasn't recorded, and you can hear it as an ambience behind
the mics
everything.
Were placed some kind of
Metaleros had better
placement
with microphones when it comes to audience, and it's louder in the mix.
Okay.
But never added audience and fake applauses.
But I guess the bands who done it earlier, like Kiss or Judas Priest or many legendary bands, did it because of the technical issues. In those days, you couldn't record as well as you can do it now, and those were very how would I say, were very strong albums that literally warped the bands to another level. And what we are doing here is just making a bridge between our last studio album to the next one. Nice. So to keep ourselves busy.
Yeah, nice. That's great. Yeah, I love that. And I was also going to say the you know, the last, well, I guess it wasn't technically a studio album. I mean, it is, but it's, you know, your the By the Sword, we rise.
We had
fantastic.
4 or 5 studio recordings. 4 were new studio recordings. So I guess that's like a new EP with a bunch of demo and live stuff and unreleased material.
Yeah, and it's, yeah, I've got a copy right here. It's fantastic. Nice. Yeah, it's through Stormspell Records. So those of you watching, yeah, go get a copy of this. It's because I think there are only 500 printed, if I believe, right? Yeah, it's a gold CD, and it's
usually the print is 500. I think always hand numbered or something like that.
This wasn't hand numbered, but as you said, it's gold printed CD, so it's kind of a special
rarity.
Yeah, and it was celebrating, you know, the you know, the first 10 years of the band so far, and just phenomenal stuff. Really, I mean, it's, you know, I love the fact, you know, there's some re-recordings on there. You re-recorded some earlier songs, and then, as you said, there's some demos, really cool demos of, you know, kind of the whole career, and then a couple live tracks too. And I love this album. I listened to it over and over and over again. It's phenomenal.
Thank you.
So that being said, do you have a new album in the works?
Yeah, we do.
Awesome.
We're on 80%, I think, of demoing it, because we still need to go around 3 or 4 song lyrics, but the music wise, it's
I said in a recent interview, musically it's almost done. We have the shell of the album. We know how many songs it's gonna have. Maybe we insert a few little bits in between. That's gonna be
like intros
or instrumental bits. But we have a shell of the album. We have a few songs completely finished, and
nice.
And this time, no cover songs.
Okay.
Yeah.
Even though you do great cover. But that's exciting. I'm excited. Do you have a working title at this point for the album, or are you at liberty to say at this point?
Yeah.
The working title, and this is an exclusive because we haven't told this to anyone yet.
Oh, nice.
Will be called possibly Eternal Curse.
Cool. I like it.
That's the working title, but maybe it will stay like that.
Okay, very cool. Do you have artwork at this point? Maybe it's too early, but
we have
we had some templates to see how it would look, so we have an idea what's it gonna look like.
Okay,
colors are chosen.
Yeah, I think the blue is going to be a predominant color on the
it's
artwork.
Gonna be the blue one.
Nice. Yeah, you do tend to have. I have noticed that you tend to have kind of like a color theme for each album that you put out. You know, it's kind of a dominant color, which is cool. Nice. So this will be a blue. I like it. Eternal Curse.
We're sad.
Yeah, we're so sad.
Nice.
It's blue because we're sad, and it will be called Eternal Curse because it's curse how long we haven't done any studio album.
Yeah, I mean,
but we tried with the last one. I'm sorry to interject because we got called to festivals like Up the Hammers, with Eulogy. That's why we didn't record anything new in recent years, because we were caught up off guard to go to play this festival. So it was a huge opportunity, and we couldn't pass on it. So
yeah, I mean, you can't. I mean, you can't pass up on festivals like that. Especially, it's interesting how the industry has changed so much. Where it used to be, it was all about selling albums. And now it's, I mean, bands make money from touring and selling merch still. I mean, you know, selling albums, but it's, I don't know if that's true for you in Serbia, but it seems like American bands, like the bread and butter for them now is shows. It's touring is where they make money, not, you know, putting out albums so much. You know, I mean, they sell albums, but it's just so many people download stuff. And I mean, I'm an album guy. I own a lot of CDs and a lot of vinyl. I love the physical album, but yeah, there's just, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know if it's true for you. Yeah, with touring, with yeah, the show. Yeah, like, yeah, I was kind of curious about the yeah, what's it like there for you in terms of, you know, sales with albums versus touring versus you know, live shows and merchandise.
We were very surprised positively when we were touring Germany specifically, because we sold out everything we had.
Oh, nice.
When it comes to merch. So we had a lot of LPs, some CDs, some patches, some T-shirts, and we practically returned to Serbia with nothing.
Nothing. If we had more, we would sell even that probably.
Oh, wow.
So we weren't prepared for what happened in Germany. So that was the first glimpse.
Nice.
In how it works. Actually, if you ask me about merch, yeah, merch is the thing that gets bands money. Yeah. Sadly, not.
In the past, the bands were collecting money from selling albums. Today, we sell shirts. That's merchants. Yeah.
That's I guess it's a good problem to have. But you know, you know, I mean, yeah, you got to make money. You got to, you know, especially to tour. I know that, you know, that's expensive. Obviously,
in Serbia, it's specifically, it's hard to find a good T-shirt printing factory, and let alone good patch printing factory. We do our patches from China because here in Serbia, everyone is doing those. Printed patches.
Oh, okay.
They look like shit. But in China, you get the embroidered patches. So
yeah, I've talked to other bands. Yeah, kind of the same issue. Just trying to find a printer or a sewer with quality products. Yeah, that's I'm sure frustrating to some degree. You know, it'd be nice to have it locally, but yeah. Do you have well, let's talk about, you know, since we're talking about touring and shows, I know you have some upcoming shows, correct?
We do.
Nice. We have something big, right? You got some big stuff on the horizon.
Well, it's truly an honor for us to announce the two shows that are coming up next week on May 16th and 17th. Both shows will be held in Serbia, first in Belgrade, second one in a town called Zrenjanin. And both shows, we will be supporting our brotherly band from Greece called Achilles. And they're a great epic metal band from Athens, which recently released their third album, Tower of High Sorcery. And they're into that epic fantasy, Dungeons and Dragons, Dragonlance stuff, and they do it incredibly well.
Nice.
So we are happy to play with them those two shows. And in July, we're actually returning to Germany to play at one of the most legendary underground heavy metal show festivals.
Yeah.
Headbangers Open Air is going to be held from July 24th to July 27th, and I think we're going to be there on July 25th, on the first day of the festival.
Excellent. Very cool. Yeah, that's a legendary festival. I've always wanted to go. Yeah,
we're excited.
Nice. Very cool. Oh, that'll be great. Yeah.
If I may add, we have a proposal from German power metal band Crystallian or Crystallian, I'm not sure how they pronounce it, and they wanted to do a tour with us in Germany, Austria, and some other countries, neighboring countries. this fall. So that tour
Is in works.
Yeah, it's in works, and 90% is gonna happen. So we're very excited to do that one too. I hope we can have our new album released by then, so we can promote it there. Can't wait to play some of those new songs.
Yeah, very cool. Oh, that's great. That's great news. Yeah, that's really cool. Yeah, I was gonna ask. I was curious if you had a kind of a target release date for the new album, and yeah, I mean, yeah, if you can get it out.
Probably fall.
Yeah, very cool. Very cool. Oh, that's great. That'll be great news. Yeah, and perfect timing. Yeah, if you can get it done in time. Yeah, that puts a lot of pressure on you, especially with all these shows coming up.
It's a lot of pressure. It's a lot of pressure. I'm just like squeezed between the camera and the anvil. I feel like that.
Nice. Yeah, I can understand that. Wow, that's great. That's great news. Yeah, that's cool. All those shows coming up. That's fantastic. Yeah, I'm jealous of the Germans and the Austrians. I wish I was there.
Well, just across the pond.
Yeah. Do you have any intention of playing in the States anytime in the near future?
We would love to. We hope we'll get a call. There was one thing in works, but it didn't happen for some reason. So we'll see.
Well, it's expensive.
Expensive,
for one.
Yeah.
It's a lot of money for us to go there. I was counting just to go there and back for the 5 of us. It's going to cost, I don't know, nearly 10 grand or something like that.
Yeah,
and it's a lot of money.
Yeah, that is a lot. Yeah. I guess it's like with something like that, it's kind of, you want to try to get on a tour with, like, a big headlining band, and then I would probably save a lot of money, and you can piggyback on their tour. But yeah, hopefully that would come to fruition. That would be cool. Yeah. So if anybody from like Iron Maiden is watching, go listen to Claymorean and get them on tour with you in the States.
Yeah, that would be great.
That would be awesome.
Yeah,
maybe Dennis can help.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, that would be really cool. So yeah, I got to see you guys live someday. Yeah, I'm like I said, I'm a big fan. I really love your music. I love what you've done, and I love the fact that you're it's got that old 80s epic metal sound, but then it's still very, very modern as well. Like it's nice. You're kind of it's like in two worlds for me. It's like the best of both worlds in a lot of ways, where you've got this epic traditional metal sound, but then it's very modern, and just everything about it. I just love the soaring guitars, the soaring vocals. It works so well together. I mean, you guys just really hit it out of the park every time. Every album anything I've listened to of yours sounds amazing all the time. So yeah, really. So I'm very excited for this new album. I can't wait to hear it. That'll be cool.
I'm truly honored you noticed that in our music, because we really try to be ourselves. A lot of today's bands are kind of like clinging on to a trend of sounding like they recorded.
I'm sure they have
recorded something in 1983.
They can
I'm like, I'm like, okay, play that music, play the music from the 70s, from the 80s. It's okay, but keep the modern sounding, because I believe those bands back in the 80s would love to have had this kind of technology to record those albums. When you hear a lot of reverberation on a song or something like that, people who aren't in the music business think, oh, that's so cool. But no, it was a way to cover the mistakes and cover the imperfectness. The
lack of technology.
So I guess it's good to be yourself when you're making music. And I was admired the later era of Black Sabbath, for example, when Tony Iommi and Tony Martin did all those great albums like Eternal Idol, Hellas Cross, Tear, Forbidden, Cross Purposes. And you could hear on all these albums a variety of heavy metal songs. You would have a power metal song, you would have a doom metal song, you would have
Viking song.
yep, an epic song, a ballad, a hard rock song, and those albums worked. They worked for me when I was a kid, and I fell in love in that kind of philosophy. But it's not the case just with Black Sabbath. I think most bands in the 80s think like that. They weren't, how you say it, ograničiti.
Yeah,
Oh,
I know what you want to say, but my
they
brain
were
stuck.
thinking like, okay,
They were thinking out of box.
yeah,
yeah.
out of box.
Yeah, they'd kind of push the boundaries, and they wouldn't. I think that's a really good point, because I think one of the problems now we have is you have all these subgenres, and it's like, all right, I have to sound like this little, like I'm in this box. Whereas it seems like, back then it was like you didn't have all these. It was just, there was heavy metal and there was hard rock, and and it was everybody that was in metal, regardless of what sound, if they were doomy or death type, thrash metal, it was just heavy metal. We just called it heavy metal. And they can play different types of things. And they like you said, with Black Sabbath, I think that's an excellent like you said, with Tony Iommi, just like he didn't kind of pigeonhole himself. He's like, I'm gonna play some doomy stuff, I'm gonna play
whatever comes to his mind, to his hand.
And that's what I like about you guys. I think because you do that a little. You push boundaries, and just look at this and the different sounds between each song. I mean, it's all big bombastic epic metal, but it's you've got some thrash elements in there, you've got some doom elements in there. There's a lot of cool stuff happening. And some darker elements, and some there's stuff that's dark, there's stuff that's lighter, and kind of more ethereal, and it's great. It's very cool. Is that kind of the same approach you're taking with the new album, in terms of
Definitely. The new album, already as it is in the demo stage, to me doesn't sound like any of our albums before, but it's still Claymorean, right? Because like on our shows, we love to do things dynamically. So you have these ups and downs. We try to avoid those, flat lines. So we're like, when people come to see our shows, the most compliments we have are after the show are about how dynamic we were, because
about pacing the show.
Because people come to see other bands, and all the other bands are like galloping high and never come down, or they are flat, or they are constantly down. We are like this, and people seem to like that, because everyone at the crowd after the show who approaches and talk to us is like, oh, you guys have some fast songs, and then you break it with some epic slow song, and we're like, that's the whole point, to have all these emotions while watching the band.
I love it. I love
like
that.
Listening to an album.
And that's what's great about your albums too. I think it sounds like you do kind of the same approach with your shows. With your albums, the sequencing of the songs, it's a journey. It's a big sonic journey. It's great. Like you said, it's up and down and all around. It's cool. I really enjoy that. And I mean, especially I think you put it well, where there's a lot of bands that they kind of just it's kind of just flat. You're kind of just stuck in this one kind of mid-tempo. Every song's kind of mid-tempo, and after a while,
every song is speed as hell.
That's very popular, to be in 10th speed if possible, and not to come off the high horse.
I don't want to sound like a pompous ass or anything like that. I truly appreciate all those different subgenres, and I have nothing against bands that are mid-paced or slower or fast. I just think music as life itself, or any movie we like, film, has to be dynamic.
Yeah,
It's natural.
Yeah, and it makes for a better, a better experience, as a listener, for sure. Yeah, that's cool. I like that.
But I like to put Rain in Blood when I'm in the mood. So
Yeah.
I have 28 minutes of constant, galloping.
Yeah,
It's good. But if it goes beyond the limit of half hour, it becomes, like, oh, I don't know.
Yeah, those albums, if they reach an hour, you can go insane.
Right. Yeah, good point. Well, let's switch gears a little bit, and let's go back in time, if you're okay with that. I was curious, and this is a question for both of you. We can go one at a time. So I was curious about how you started out in music. Did you come from musical families? Like, what was the impetus for you to become a musician?
Me, I didn't come from musical family, actually, but I played since early age, to put it so. I was classically trained violinist, so then I switched for operatic singing, even in some points of my musical upbringing. But I had a very cool uncle who was a big rocker, and he was the one that put me on this path. He was the reason I started singing. So I had this pretty niche little room filled with CDs, LPs from an early age. So I was lucky to listen to rock and classic heavy metal, so to put it, from early age. And later, when I met Vlad, I expanded my views to more things.
Nice. Were there any specific musicians?
Manila Road.
Oh yeah, great band.
Manila Road.
I love Manila Road. Were there any specific musicians or vocalists that kind of inspired you at that?
Yeah, the thing that jump-started my thinking was Whitesnake, definitely. When I heard David Coverdale.
Oh, okay. Right.
That's the moment I was like, I want to do this. I think I want to be on stage.
Nice. Oh, that's cool. Yeah, that's cool. I love it when I always love hearing when a musician, like when they remember like the point when they said, I want to do that, like, something that triggered that desire to actually get up on stage and sing to people, because I know some people don't really remember, but there's others, like, it's very distinct. Like, oh, I totally remember it was this one song, or it was this one concert, or, this one album.
It was one live show. I remember they came first time in Serbia. With that lineup, 2006, yeah. They released something from London, live in London, I think it was. And I was like, I want to do this for a living if possible, but of course we have daily jobs. We can't live from music, but that was the moment I was sure I want to do this.
Nice. Very cool.
Out of love.
Out of love. Only for love.
Very cool. I love it. How about you, Vlad? What did you come from a musical family? Like, kind of what started you down this path?
No, my family played a lot of music, but no one was a musician. My dad and Ma had some adventures in music when they were young, but that didn't last long. So I was influenced by my older cousin, who used to babysit me, and he was a huge fan of Kiss and AC/DC. Nice. And he used to scare me with the pictures of Gene Simmons, of course, under the makeup. and he was like, if you don't finish your
Meal.
Gene Simmons will come to get you. And when I saw that inlay of AC/DC's "If You Want Blood, You Got It," where Angus is stabbed with a guitar, I was deeply influenced by that. It shocked me as a 3 or 4 year old, but I think the first moment when I decided which music I was going to listen for the rest of my life happened during the projection of Conan the Barbarian. And the soundtrack that Basil Poledouris made, it's symphonic, it's not metal, but to me it's more metal than any metal band out there ever. So it was huge, it was bombastic, it was epic, and the scenes from that movie are etched in my brain for I don't know, 40 years now, and I'm like,
you're stuck with it forever.
Yeah, I'm stuck with it forever. And then I think I was in elementary school, 5th or 6th grade, and there was a Alice Cooper video, Poison, uncensored version.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
Oh, girls and this kind of music go hand in hand. Yeah, I'm in.
Nice.
Very cool.
So that's it for me.
Nice. When did you first pick up a guitar?
Oh, I think I was 11 or 12, and the cousin who frightened me with Gene Simmons, he already played a guitar, and he had this beautiful girlfriend, which was much older than me at the time. But I was taught he had her because of the guitar, and I started playing, practicing guitar, and I was a self-taught guitarist. I couldn't play for shit, but eventually I got better because I practiced, I think, 8 hours a day. My friends came to call me to go out, yeah, and play football or something like that. I was like, no, guys. I opened the door with my guitar on, and I'm like, you go. I'm practicing, and that was until my, I don't know, high school, and then I seriously started thinking about having a band.
Nice.
My first band was actually real band Claymore. That's the predecessor of Claymorean.
Yeah. That was what, 94, right? When
Yep.
You and your brother, correct?
No, my brother was too small for that. He was underage.
But he joined you in early.
He joined me eventually in late 90s. I think around 98 or something like that.
Gotcha. So before the first album, right?
Yeah, before. And that first album, it was basically a demo recorded in just 2 or 3 days in my room. And
wow.
I rented this equipment from the neighbor who plays some folk music on weddings and stuff like that. And he charged me a lot. I think he charged me $50 for 2 days, which was a lot at that time. And in 2 days, I recorded all the vocals, guitars, programmed the drums. My brother helped me with programming the keyboards and bass guitar, and that was the first Claymore album recorded in 2 days.
That's amazing. Oh, that's incredible. That's cool. That's really cool. And then Dejana, you joined in 2012 is when you came into the band, right? Around that time?
I started singing a few months prior to joining Claymore at that time. Vlad saw my first gig actually, and he immediately approached me through messages on Facebook to join his band, and I was like, dude, this was my first gig. I don't even know what I'm doing, let alone join the band.
I must say that at that first gig of hers. She sang Easy Living by Uriah Heep and Stargazer by Rainbow.
Oh,
and
nice.
she did it flawlessly. I was floored. I was like, this is my new singer.
Cool.
There was a video of him. He didn't know that gig was recorded, that he's holding his head like this. You can see him somewhere in the crowd. They're like, that's you holding your head not to explode.
Nice. Well, yeah, I mean, you obviously, had, stage presence immediately, from your first gig. I mean, yeah, like that's really cool. That's cool I always love hearing those stories of, went to a show and you see this person like, okay, I need that person in my band. Like that person needs to be in my band. And here you are, 10 plus years later.
Married for 10 years now.
Yeah, and married too.
And 14 together.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's really cool. That's cool. Yeah, was that kind of, did that happen kind of mutually? Was it, like, I want you in my band and I think I want to marry you too? Was that kind of
I thought of that when I saw her singing, because I had some rough
I'm listening this for
the
first time.
I had a rough break up
prior
to that, and I was like all bummed and stuff like that, and I said, oh no, I don't believe in love anymore. I'm never gonna get my girlfriend or wife or something like that. And then I went to that gig and I was like, oh, she's going to be my singer and my wife, but she still doesn't know it.
That's cool. I love that. That is
but
great.
I wasn't a stalker or something like that.
Yeah.
He even thought that I blew him off.
Yeah.
He was sure I blew him off. I said, I answered your question. Don't make me scroll to the beginning of our messaging. And I did once, and I print screened that I answered sincerely that I only started and I'm not sure what I'm doing. So give me time to grow so we can see what can we do about our music later on.
And that's why that second album of Claymore sounds like it sounds, because it wasn't mature yet.
Yeah, I wasn't operatic singing. Even if I was trained, I couldn't pull it off on the record.
Gotcha. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, you kind of had to grow and learn, and yeah.
It takes time for everything.
Yeah. Well, and that's another thing I think that I really like about the band is, that the core band is, you've grown, and it's very organic the way the band has grown. It seems like, is that true of the writing as well? Do you guys kind of write as a team, or does it start with like a riff, or how do you guys write your songs?
Actually, I never know how we write any of our songs, because when you get to listen to your songs after they are recorded and released, you're like, how did I write this? What made me write this? This is actually good. And why did I write it?
Some came from the dreams. I can say, I think Hunter of the Damned.
Hunter of the Damned, I dreamt.
He dreamt the entire song, I think. I dreamt Kill the Hammer, for example. Some came from pure jamming. It was like Vlad to guitar found a nice sound when he was trying his VSTs or something, and said, oh, I have an idea, pressed record and filmed the entire song. So we were cutting and making a short version of what he
cool. So you're actually writing it in the studio as it's developing. That's cool.
It's interesting. On our last album, Eulogy for the Gods, we had 2 songs that weren't finished as demos.
We never done that.
Yeah, so we basically wrote them at the on a spot at the final day of recording.
Oh wow!
Yeah,
and those 2 songs are "Spirit of Merciless Time" and "Mystical Realm."
Oh wow!
Because I thought these songs have nothing to offer. I was like prepared to throw them away.
Yeah, Spirit of Merciless Time was this close to being canned, even, and it was make it or break it. It was, this is going to be either an IP or LP. This song is going to decide the fate of this release.
Yeah.
And it was completely wiped 3 times, I think. And we wrote 2 or 4 lyrics for it. It was like...
Yeah, the song had many different versions.
I'm losing my nerves even thinking about it. I remember the moment.
It's like the race with time, actually.
We recorded in the room because it was Corona and no one was going out.
Yeah,
and
probably the restrictions,
Our long time and only time producer, Boris, said, please just open your wardrobe so that clothing can... absorb the reverb from the room, because the room is not treated. You can't record in that room actually, but open the wardrobe so...
Since we're not going into the studio.
So it can sound as dry as possible, so we can treat it later in the studio. I was in a wardrobe, and I remember screaming at Vlad, shut up, shut up, I have an idea. But I can seem to get it out, and I was like, "Listen, screams in the dead of night," and he was like, "Shut up! Now you shut up! You better shut up and let me write this."
Wow!
Because sometimes it just needs
a moment,
a spark to light me up, but. Your question can also be answered from another point. The new material was actually the first time we had the entire band involved in writing the music and the melodies. Lyrics, this time we'll have an outside writer, like we did on Broken.
Yes, I think the first one.
Long-time friend Matt DeVries from Kansas, with whom I did a black metal album once, and we started recording a project called Spiral Castle, which was going to be old school type of heavy metal. We had the members of Twisted Tower Dire and While Heaven Wept with us, and even Cedric Forsberg from Blazing Stone. So that project is still on ice until we finish with Claymorean. So hopefully, so he wrote, I think is going to be 2 lyrics for this new album.
Cool, very cool.
I just had an idea.
He was inspired.
Yeah, I had just idea what will these songs be about, and he was like, "Okay, I'm a writer. Let me do this." And still waiting on final draft. Is going to be soon.
Nice. Oh, very cool. I like that. I like the collaborative effort. You know, that's cool that it's, I think, I mean, and it doesn't necessarily make it better, but it's always nice when a band writes an album together. I think it's nice to, I mean, and there's great albums, where, one person kind of wrote the whole thing. You look at, certainly like Megadeth. I mean, it's all pretty much Dave Mustaine. But it's nice when it's a collaborative effort. And and I love the fact that, you guys are, in the same room, like, all right, now shut up. I've got something. Don't talk. Stop.
We are always divorcing in the middle of recording. That's the only thing that can make us or break us. That's recording my vocals.
We're on the verge of divorce each time we record.
Later, I found out that's not the only thing with us. We witnessed some of our friends in other bands that
happens a lot among other musicians too, who are emotionally involved. Because that's how things go. I think when you believe in that person, that person can deliver much more than they are delivering at that moment, you start to, like a boxing coach. You're like, come on, punch it harder. I know you can do it. And she loses her nerves, but she delivers vocally what I had in mind. And I always remember what the great and late producer Martin Birch told Ronnie James Dio. They were recording Heaven and Hell with Black Sabbath, and they were, I think, for hours in the studio recording the title track, and Dio constantly keep asking Martin, "What do you want from me? I sang it like I did. It's perfect." He was like, "No, you can do it. You can do it."
For singing song.
No, and Dio sang, "Sing me a song. You're a singer," and he said, "That's it. Your whole life is in this verse. The way you sang it."
Nice.
And practically that was like that.
That's cool.
Similarly, like Bruce Dickinson's Scream.
Yeah, in The Number of the Beast. Yeah.
Same thing.
So I tried to be our producer, Boris. He's mixing and mastering all of our albums and recording. But I'm co-producing all our albums with him, because I'm present when we record everything from drums to vocals.
You're the one editing everything.
And I'm like responsible how she is going to deliver the line, because she sometimes use 5 or 6 takes in each song, and I'm together with her deciding what take we will use eventually. And she's like, sometimes we disagree a lot, but when I hear in my brain how a line should be delivered, that's when we get in trouble. But eventually it turns out for the best.
Yeah. That's, I mean, yeah, I think, I mean, art, for me, art is always best when it's, it's passionate. And yeah, so yeah, there's going to be, when there's lots of emotion involved. And yeah, you have very emotive music, I think, and especially the vocals. I mean, I mean, your vocals just soar, Jana. I mean, it's like, wow. I think that was, and no offense to musically at all, but I think that was what drew me to the band initially, was hearing, the first song I ever heard, and I don't remember which song it was. I think it was on a compilation or something. It was years ago. I don't remember where it was, but it was one of those where it was, I think I was working or something, and it would just happen to be on, and it was one of those things that just stopped me dead in my tracks, because, I'm working, typing away, and then I hear this angelic voice with these powerful guitars. I'm like, whoa, what is this? Stop, hold the press. I got to find out what this is. And that was, my love affair with like Claymorean was immediate. So, and it was, a lot of it was just that passion in the vocals. It really kind of blew me away, and I'm like, wow, I need to hear more of this right now. So yeah, so I immediately went and bought, I'm trying to remember which album I bought. Unbroken, maybe no, it was before that. I can't remember. But yeah, I stopped doing what I was doing and went online and looked up, like, how do I buy an album from this band? Where are they from? Who is this band? So yeah, it just struck me.
It's so weird to hear that your music has the impact, because we love our band. Vlad said it recently. You have to love your music, and your band has to be your favorite band.
Number one. I mean, Manila Road is my favorite band, but whenever I make a list of my favorite bands, Claymorean is always there, because it would be unfair to say, yeah, I love all these bands, but Claymorean, no, I love my band. I think we have great songs, we have great albums. Otherwise, I wouldn't do this. Or why bother making something you don't like or think it's meh? I think the key to everything we do in life is to be honest, to do it from the heart, to do it out of love, and we're doing it because we don't have 50 songs in the background, like, oh, which one we'll choose and the others will. No, each album is practically from the scratch. No songs, and then we shape them, and until we're satisfied with each one, we don't let them on the
Yeah,
record.
we try to make every song the best we can. We don't stop and say this is the final product until we are completely satisfied with what we are giving to our audience. So it's very nice to hear that we stopped you in wherever you were doing and made you search for us. Thank you. That means a lot.
That happened to me when I listened to a compilation years ago, and suddenly a band caught my attention, and I was like, "What's this? This sounds great. This sounds epic." The band was Blind Guardian,
Oh, cool.
and that's where I was blown away.
Nice. Yeah, great band. They were just here actually. I missed it. My daughter was graduating from college, and it was the same night, and I couldn't go to the concert. And I've never seen Blind Guardian, and I've always wanted to. I love that band.
They were 4 times in Serbia. We never had chance to see them. We had chance probably, but we never saw them, sadly.
That'd be a good tour. Claymorean with Blind Guardian. That would be a cool tour. Yeah, make that happen. Yeah, that would be cool. I would love that. That would be great. Well, Vlad and Dejana, this has been an absolute pleasure chatting with you. I'm super excited for the new album. I cannot wait. So hopefully, fingers crossed, that'll be coming out in the fall of this year. So, and for those of you watching, there are links below in the description. If you don't know Claymorean, get to know them. They are fantastic. I strongly suggest this is a great start for you for an album. If you don't know them, that's a great place to start. You can get that on Storm Spell Records. And you guys have a Bandcamp page as well, right? I think.
Yep. Bandcamp, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, Spotify. Anything you like.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah. So there'll be links for you to check them out there. Again, thank you so very much. This has been an absolute pleasure chatting with you today.
Thank you. We are honored to be your guests and your wonderful host, and we had so much fun doing this, and hopefully we'll do it again.
Yeah,
with a new album. Why not?
Yeah. Let's do a follow-up with the new album. That would be great. Thank you. Oops. Sorry, I double-clicked. How's it? That was great. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. We enjoyed, really.